We see news in a different perspective. We understand sports in a different view. FTV is back, better and definitely brighter, with bold discussions, deep criticism, and different views. This is FTV.
With me here today, someone who is very conversant with sports both locally, continentally, and globally. It's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, so can you kindly paint to us a clear picture on how sports has been since we last took a break from FTV?
Not too bad, not too good either. I think a lot of good things happened, but worse things happened. And the worst that could have happened was the FIFA ban. Really, it's not a ban per se, but a suspension. But nonetheless, it still means that our national team and our local teams and our players cannot get an opportunity to ply their trade outside here.
And
so it's not a good thing.
And since you've just said about the FIFA ban, how did we find ourselves here as a country?
We found ourselves there by not doing the right thing. If we did the right things, we wouldn't have been there because, FIFA statutes do not allow government interference in the management of sports. And that's why we have federations for each country. In our case, we are FKF. So by the action of the CS for Sports Amina, having constituted that caretaker committee, that in the interpretation of FIFA statutes amounts to government interference. And that is why we are where we are today.
And was the ban really necessary?
Yes, it was necessary to the extent that at least it was supposed to have given an opportunity to put our house in order. So the problem or the question that we should be asking ourselves, are we really putting our house in order or we are just seated there?
And since I understand that you're among one of the club owners or rather club managers, what has this done to you guys down in the pitch?
Well, you have no reason really to tell that player to play football. The level of sports that you have, like the club I do, the Young Bullets, is a club which is more or less like an academy. You want to develop these players to a higher level so that they're able to apply their trades outside of the country. But with the ban, they also know they cannot go outside of the country. That's number one. Number two, they cannot play for the national team at this stage because the national team cannot involve itself in any other matches or competitions. So encouraging that player just over and above the money you pay them isn't enough. They want more than that. And even what we pay them is not enough money. This is a stage you just set for them so that they go up there. But up there where? Now that there's a ban and the football isn't moving, we are playing a national league which pretty much is a tournament, which the winner doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, so it's difficult.
So do you want to tell me that by the ongoing local leagues, that's like an illegality, or it doesn't bring anything substantive to the team and to the players themselves?
It might not be an illegality, but it's null and void. To the extent that, when you win the league, you're supposed to go for the Africa Championship, the Champions League for the continent. Our league winner will not be able to participate in that, The other person who wins the domestic cups is supposed to go for the Cup. They will not be able to go for the same. So it's a local tournament which you have nothing to show for at the end of it all.
And do you feel like you will get something positive from the ban once it's lifted?
I thought we would, but I don't think we will because nothing is happening. The ministry isn't doing so much, at least in terms of communication. The caretaker committee itself is in wrangles. They are fighting between themselves on who exactly is supposed to do what. And the time is running out. The only thing that I've heard from the government is that the caretaker committee's tenure shall not be extended. So that means by the end of this month, they were appointed around
September,
around October, thereabout.
For 6 months.
So by the end of this month, their tenure shall have ended. So if we were doing the right things, we needed to have organized elections already. And we liaised with FIFA for a normalization committee so that a proper election is conducted and a new FKF is put in place so that the players need not suffer. Now, World Cup qualifiers have been played. Kenya did not play. People are from international break. Kenya did nothing. We were just there. So it's something that someone needs to be more proactive and take serious action and ensure that our house is put in order and the sports goes back to what we used to know it for.
And how is this ban affecting individual players? Do these Kenyan players get a chance to be transferred to other teams, or that ban has also barred that?
the ban has bad that, normally when you are transferring to another country, FIFA issues a player with something we call the ITC, the International Trade Certificate, or the International Transfer Certificate. In the absence of that certificate, you cannot go play outside there. So you could be signed, but then you go to that club and become a cleaner or something else, but you never be able to play football in the absence of that. So for as long as you're in the blacklist of FIFA, quote unquote, like we are now, they don't recognize you, because FIFA do not deal with governments. It deals with federations. So FKF. They've suspended FKF. So you are from what federation for us to give you an ITC? So it's difficult. They cannot go anywhere. They'll just play the local tournament around here.
Well, he has just nailed it, and this is FTV, where you get all sporty matters and discussions. And I have been your host, Frederick Parsayo.
My name is Oduor, the manager of Young Bullets and the organizing secretary of Wadao Premier League.
And remember to keep it at what? FTV. This is home for both local, international, and global sporting activities. See you next time. Bye-bye. Same time, same place. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon.
Cheers.